What's up, guys? Here with another video. In this video I'll be talking about track and field, right? So I think I still watch sport, but now like more into track and field now, because track and field seems to be a lot more interesting, than NBA and NFL, alone, right? But I know that for some reason people don't watch my track and field video, for whatever reason that is. Hopefully I track all you runners here, right? But yeah, if you've been following track and field, and I think you should get into it, because track and field has been going fucking crazy as shit, right? So yeah, man, it's just unbelievable of just what happened yesterday and what happened like a few days ago, right? It's only been one weekend, like several world record has been breaking down already, right? If this doesn't seem like relevant to you, you should watch Total Run Production, right? I hope that, somebody, who makes lots of running video should definitely, tag me the video into it, because I also run a lot too, right? Yeah, running is like a very difficult sport, and a lot of people hate running, right? A lot of people even struggle, with their cardiovascular and all that stuff, right? But people's been breaking world record left and right, and yeah, I think it's because of Eliud Kipchoge say that no human's limited, right? It's just subbing a 2 hour. I just want to talk about history again, because of I can tell that people seem to forget, and they just don't think that subbing a 2 hour marathon or running a 2 hour marathon pace is whatever. They don't know how fast that is. It's just a 13 miles per hour, or just running 100 meters in 17 seconds, right? That's just for your perspective right there. So yeah, ever since he broke that in 2019, like I mentioned to everybody, then people, I should describe how fast it is, right? Some people still don't know how fast it is, but anyway, so because just Roger Bannister broke 4-minute miles just over 70 years ago. So yeah, that means that people have motivation, they have more limits to break and make out. So people think that athletes are doping. They're not doping. It's just technologies, much more better nutrition, and a lot more better advancement in technologies, and people study how to get faster, the techniques and all stuff. This is why people tend to run a lot more efficiently than they did in the past, right? I feel like people in the past, if they have that much technology and advancement just like us, then they could have probably run a lot faster too. So that's why I'm not surprised that so many world record has been beaten. But this is still crazy, man, right? So yeah, have to tell you what's been going on, right? And I see even very young athletes are making high amounts of accomplishment, right? So before I get into to the world record, I've been following the worldathletic.com. I've been tracking how fast the young athletes run, right? So just this year alone, there's this guy that is 15 years old. He almost ran a sub 4-minute mile, right? So yeah, this is crazy, man. He's only 15 years old, and he ran a 4:01 mile, right? And then you got Grant Fisher. He just broke his 3,000 meter record, the world record indoor, and also the 5,000 meter indoor record, right? So yeah, Grant Fisher break 2 records in the span of 6 days, right? And then you got Yaron Lagoose, ran a 3:46 mile indoor, right? And then Yaron Lagoose, and then his record only lasted 5 days, because Jakob Ingebrigtsen ran a 3:45 world record indoor mile, right? Yeah, running indoor and outdoors are totally different, because like I said again, the running indoor is way tougher than outdoor, because up the curve and turn, right? Yeah, because every time when you turn that, it can significantly slow you down. Not significantly, but slow you down a little bit, right? If you're more curvy stuff, right? I feel like this is why people run faster on the road than on the track. That's just my opinion, is because there it's just minimized curve. If you run quick and minimize curve, then yeah, then I can see that you can shave off like easily like another few seconds per mile faster, right? So that does make a big difference, right? Nobody has ever breaking a 345 indoor, but they did break a 345 outdoor, right? That was hit by Hikam El Guerrouj. Hikam El Guerrouj, mile time is probably gonna go down very soon. That record is so in danger. So many rain records are in danger because people are now getting a lot quicker and stuff, right? They thought that the world record will sit there for like years, but eventually it's gonna get breaking, right? I think Jakob Ingebrigtsen also broke the 50,000 meter world record exactly on the same day. It's insane, man, right? Jakob Ingebrigtsen, never broke a 330 indoor, and he just did it, like while during his mile run, right? It's just crazy, like how yeah, I get like the 50,000 meter and the 1 mile thing. I know that is not a big difference, right? I know that the difference between 1,500 meter to 1 mile is only 109 meters, right? So yeah, Jakob not only broke the 15,000 meter world record, but he also continued to run another 109 meters and end up with 345. He actually did run a 329 1,500 meter. Well, that's because he counted his split. So it's a good thing they count it as a world record, right? So yeah, I don't know what's the world record in there for 50,000 meters, but I think it's over 330. That's for sure, right? So yeah, he just probably ran another 16 seconds after his 1,500 meter, and then boom, he completed his mile, right? Yeah, because the indoor is always 200 meters in length, right? The outdoor is 400 meters. That means you have to curve like 2 times less. So yeah, and the half marathon is like, it was like unbelievable, man. Like I was so shocked, like how the hell this person like almost beat the fucking half marathon record by almost a minute, right? By almost 1 minute, right? And his name is Jacob Kiplimo. I know that he has not set a world record since 2021. Yeah, I remember that, it hasn't even been like 5 years yet. And the 5 years ago, you go back to 5 years ago, the fastest half marathon record was only 58 minutes, right? It was just right at 58 minutes. And then, December of, 2020, right? The craziest year on earth. This Jacob Kiplimo or something like that, like I say that a couple runners had run, half marathon in only like 57.5 minutes, right? And then, and then, this another guy, late in 2024, beat another half marathon record by only like 1 second, like just a slip away, just be like a 1 single second, legendary second, and it's 57 minutes and 30 seconds. And then, just yesterday, Jacob Kiplimo was the first person that broke the 57-minute barrier. And a lot of people are freaking commenting on this guy saying that he's going to break the 2-hour record. He's going to break the 2-hour record. Not Kelvin Kiptum, right? I wish Kelvin Kiptum's alive, but unfortunately he passed away. So yeah, Kelvin Kiptum has a really strong shot and has a really good chance of starting a 2-hour marathon, but his life is just cut short, right? He probably would have break 2 hours last year, but I thought that, breaking a 2-hour marathon was not going to happen, for a while, Like I said, like next few years or so, but I think it's going to get breaking, eventually, right? Either this year or the next couple years, right? I would not be surprised at this point because people are getting so damn fast, right? Jacob Kiplimo ran a fucking half marathon in 56 minutes and 42 seconds, right? Don't get me wrong here, but not only he broke the 57 minutes barrier, you know, for half marathon, but he's running a half marathon, you know, or 13 and a half, over 13 miles, you know. His average pace was under a 4:20, man. Like, if you don't know how fast is a 56 minutes and 42 seconds, you know, 56 minutes and 42 seconds, you know, half marathon is an average pace of 4 minutes and 19 seconds per mile, and a half seconds per mile, right? So yeah, Jacob Kiplimo does have a very good shot of subbing a 2-hour marathon, but it's not guaranteed, right? I mean, of course he has to run another, you know, like 13 miles, you know, another like 1-hour marathon. So yeah, anything can change, right? But that's the same. And I absolutely agree with everyone. Whoever subs a 57-minute, you know, half marathon will potentially have the fitness of breaking a 2-hour marathon, right? Because, you know, just based on your experience, all that stuff, right? I think the more experienced runner you have, the better long distance runner you have, right? So yeah, I know that you know, I'm very good with math, all stuff. I did all that calculation, all stuff, right? For people who run like, you know, half marathon and all stuff, usually their average, you know, marathon pace is slightly, you know, slower than, you know, their average, you know, half marathon pace, right? You wonder like how much, you know, slower it is, right? Well, I say about, you know, the average person, the average, you know, pace, you know, to run a marathon is usually about like 90%, a little bit above like 90% to like 95% of your half marathon speed, and that's how you determine your half marathon pace. So this is why I calculate, right? Because no one has broken the 2-hour marathon yet, but Eliud Kipchoge just broke it, but he did not follow the ratified rule, right? He got his pacemaker, he did, you know, other illegal rules that he should be doing, and the course was, you know, 100% flat and 100% straight. So they find like the easiest way, you know, to break the 2-hour marathon. Everything has to be, you know, the easiest possible way. But yeah, if Eliud Kipchoge does it in race, like, it's a lot harder because he does have pacemaker, and, you know, the course can go up and down, you know, hill, right? So yeah, it's just, you know, certain rule that it doesn't follow, right? But yeah, but I will think that Jacob Kiplimo will, you know, overcome, you know, Eliud Kipchoge. Eliud Kipchoge cannot run the sub 2-hour marathon anymore because he probably lost his fitness, you know, due to aging and his body changed, right? So yeah, you know, so yeah, you know, the human has absolutely have no limit, right? I mean, yeah, you know, they get gradually a little faster, you know, every year, right? So yeah, I think the first time, you know, a human break the half marathon 1-hour barrier was like set back in 1993, right? And today we're in year 2025, right? So that means, you know, to order break 57 minutes for the half marathon, like, that's like 3 minutes like below the 1-hour pace. Well, now remember, man, if you want to run a sub 2-hour marathon, you have to run half marathon, of course, you know, in under 1 hour, you know, both half marathons in a row, right? Well, people can run half marathon in under 1 hour, but can they able to do like twice the amount of distance, you know, like 2 times in a row? Like, that's my biggest question right now, right? Because the current marathon record is still, you know, 2 hours, and like, this person could easily, you know, shave off, you know, 35 seconds, right? 35 seconds is absolutely nothing because Jacob Kiplimo just literally just take off a whole minute, nearly a whole minute off of, you know, half marathon. So just imagine that, you know, like what he did for a marathon. Let's say that if he keeps up that rate, if he shave off 8 seconds like half marathon, and then for another half marathon he shave off another 48 seconds, and if you add it to like to the world record of like 2 hours and 35 seconds, imagine, you know, shave off, he only needs to shave off like He doesn't even need to shave off like 48 seconds just to break a 1 hour, just to break a 2 hour barrier, right? And some crazy comment that I see, I just like to read comments about running video because I'm interested in video, but some people say that he may even break 159. Well, I'm not sure about that, but maybe in a couple years. But maybe not this year, but who knows, But who knows what's going to happen, right? This is why, this world's so crazy because it's so undamn predictable, right? You think you can break this record, but then, you just went on a whole level. You may actually break another record, and another record, right? And sometimes humans cannot see their full potential, or sometimes they're way stronger than they think, right? That has happened sometimes, Yeah, of course, humans sees it all the time, right? Yeah, sometimes I go at my record pace. Sometimes I go like way beyond and further than I actually thought, right? That happens too, I'm not sure if Jacob Cavillo can break a 159. I'm not sure about that, but yeah, that'll still be shocking, if he still breaks 2 hours, right? A 159 like that will be very crazy. That means he has to go like 158. I'm like, a 159 marathon it's a 430 minutes per mile pace, right? It's a 430. That's just to put in this perspective for you, right? Yeah, I feel like, man, it's just one little short week, many world records getting broken. But then just imagine, 2025 has barely started and it's just the beginning. And by the time we get to the end of, I'm pretty sure that more world records are gonna get broken, right? I feel like people only get faster and faster, and even if you break a world record by like large amount of stuff, like it's not gonna stay there for very long. Somebody's still gonna break it, right? It's just like so freaking unbelievable, right? And then you got freaking teenagers, that run a sub 350 milers, right? And for some weird ass reason, I suddenly get faster too for no goddamn reason, right? Although you keep your body healthy, right? It just depends, on a lot of things, right? If you just stay out of trouble and if you keep your body, maintaining well and healthy, then your body's gonna look strong and it can perform, like way more than 100%, right? Yeah, so let me talk about Jacob Caplimo's, half marathon, world record, right? I want to say congratulations to this dude, he is 2 years younger than me. And yeah, and I remember, and this reminded me just like what happened, a few months ago. Just like a couple of months ago, this woman break a 2 hours and 10 barrier, for the marathon, right? Just broke a 2:10. And that's unfreaking unbelievable as well, right? Her pace is so goddamn insane, right? She ran a 2:09, 57, right? No woman has ever does that, right? I mean, yeah, it's a good thing that man also gets faster too, right? And there are some women runners that run like a man, right? And there's some women can even beat male elite runner, and that's freaking scary, man. That is fucking ass scary, bro. Right? Imagine, if women can beat men. And what happened to mans, Do they get stronger or do they get weaker? Of course, mans are always more dominant than females, Right? And now, we got males, that actually break 57 minutes, right? I think it's kind of good, like, Jacob Cavillo break 57 minutes, so that way, like, the gap between the women and males are always about the same, right? I know that males should finish, 10% faster than females, right? If you look prospectively, as a mathematician, right? You look at their time, you look at their average speed, the difference, right? So yeah, it will take females, like they're only like 9%, speed of a male, right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So yeah, the half marathon record for women has not been breaking since 2021, right? But the men's, are crazy, right? So let's go over the half marathon, record for God's sake, right? And what will happen in the future. And track field has been really going freaking nuts, man, right? So yeah, so the 1 hour barrier was breaking in 1993. But if somebody breaks a 2-hour marathon this year, then yeah, you know, like nobody has run a sub, you know, 1 hour, you know, half marathon, you know, 2 times in a row, you know, for the next, you know, let's say at least 30 years, right? Because we're 2025, so that, you know, half marathon, 1 hour sub half marathon record is 32 years old. It's just 5 years older than me, right? And then, you know, in 2006, you know, nobody has ever broken, you know, 59 minutes barrier, right? And then, you know, people are now, and then men's, you know, are subbing 58 minute. I mean, just finally, you know, getting the half marathon in the 58, you know, minutes area, right? And then, you know, another 14 years later, you know, right after 2006, you know, yeah, the world record is now down to like 57 minutes. And then, you know, less 5 years later, it's now down 56 minutes, right? Yeah. And also, you know, it's just so fucking coincidence that I've been a Grant Fisher fan. I've been knowing Grant Fisher since 2015, right? When I first saw him, you know, like I know that in 2015 I wasn't like the big internet guy, you know. I just started YouTube, and yeah, I've been watching Grant Fisher, you know, for some reason, for some coincidental reason. I see that, you know, I really want Grant Fisher to break a sub 4-minute mile, right? I want to see Grant, but yeah, he was in high school at the time. He was a senior, and right before, you know, he ended his high school career, like he ran a 3:59, right? And Grant Fisher is absolutely, you know, he's really insane right now, right? Grant Fisher has looking a lot stronger since, you know, high school right now, and they say that he can actually challenge, you know, Jakob Ingebrigtsen, right? I know Jakob Ingebrigtsen is 3 years younger than Grant Fisher, right? But yeah, age is just a number, you know. It doesn't matter like how old you are, all stuff. Like you could be like, I feel like, you know, younger people are always stronger. They have more potential, but then, you know, we cannot count the old people, right? Maybe their body has developed differently, or maybe he's really well coached. Like, I don't know, you know. Just comment down, you know, like if you're the biggest, you know, Grant Fisher fan, like what's going on with Grant Fisher, right? And I saw like Grant Fisher's workout, you know. He just ran a sub 4-minute mile, you know, like on his tempo day. This is insane, you know, right? Usually tempo workout, usually you run like slightly slower than your race pace, like let's say 10%, you know, slower, right? But Grant Fisher just made a 4-minute mile look like a walk in the park. So is Hobbs Kessler, you know, and Cam Myers, right? Cam Myers is still, you know, a teenager, and he ran a 3:47 indoors. Imagine he ran outdoor, like he could have break 3:45 in his teenage year. This is massively insane, man, right? And then, you know, you got, yo, Gout, you know. He's being, yo, Usain Bolt's record, right? You got Gout, man. And, man, there's like so many athletes, you know, that are breaking names, right? They are breaking world records that you have never seen before, right? So, yeah, this is what, you know, makes sports exciting. Like, it's a lot more competitive and a lot more, you know, fast, right? So, this is just unbelievable. And Grant Fisher just ran indoor, you know, 5,000 meter of 12 minutes and 44 seconds, right? And then he ran his 3,000 meter in 7:22, right? Just 5 seconds slower than Jakob's, you know, outdoor record, right? Yeah, Grant Fisher, like I said, you know, like he just ran indoor, right? So a 7:22 is potentially, you know, sub 4-minute mile pace, definitely, right? Yeah, if you ran like a 7:30, you know, like 3,000 meter, then that's like a sub 4-minute mile pace. It's just right around there. Not exactly, right? Because we have to remember that the 16,000 meter is not a mile. Well, imagine that if 60,000 meter was a mile, then I would imagine like people's, you know, average minute per mile pace will be a little bit more faster, right? That's what I'm saying right now, right? So yeah, it's just crazy that, you know, Grant Fisher is now running a sub 4-minute mile pace. I think he can go for at least 2 miles. You know, like if he was really, you know, into it, if he was really going all out, right? he did read his 2-mile indoor, couple, like just last year, like right behind Josh Kerr of 8 minutes and 3 seconds, right? Yeah, yeah. This is why, when I go to track and field, when I go to marathon and all that stuff, this is why I won't be surprised that if people, freaking PR like out of nowhere, right? If people are hitting their goddamn PRs, right? And I just watched Nick Bare just like a few weeks ago, and he said he's going to sub a 2:30 marathon. Yeah, I told myself so many times, I won't be surprised if, Nick Bare, like has all his muscles in his body, and then, he's gonna run a sub 2:30 marathon. Yeah, that should be no surprising because, it's because, like people, people's body is just so freaking insane for some reason. For some reason, I hate my body. I keep calling my body depleted and all stuff, and I still run way faster than I did, last year for no reason, right? I feel like, yeah, these people should definitely be stronger because they study, like their mistake. They study, more in detail, like why they run so and all stuff, and then they put more, like right nutrition in their body, and then they start running a lot more faster, right? And some people do take some drugs and doping and all stuff, right? So yeah, Nick Bare he's gonna have to run 10 minutes faster than his previous PR, which I think that can happen, right? So yeah, and that's the crazy part. Nick Bare got hit by an SUV or something, and he said that he's mentioning everybody saying that he needs to slow down in running, right? There are even stockier people that runs a 6-minute mile pace, like it's like a jog in a park, right? Like I am not stocky at all. I am no bulk. I am not a bodybuilder. There are some people, that are way, bigger than me. That have like tons of muscles, and they can run a 6-minute mile pace for like half a marathon at least, right? Because it's just, they got inspired by Nick Bare. There's even big runners now, right? I know that big runners are slow, but sometimes they probably need muscles, to push themselves a lot. You don't have to be, really skinny, to be a long distance runner, right? You don't have to be like these Kenyans runner. You don't have to be like super thin, like paper thin, right? It's just insane to me, like running has been changing a lot, in just within my generation alone, right? People saying that, like that the half marathon is going to go to like 55 minutes at some point. Yeah, I don't, it does not matter like how much time you shave off your half marathon record. Like somebody will try to beat it again, right? There's going to be somebody, right? Whether it's Jacob Kiplimo, whether it's Kelvin Kiptum. Like even if the athlete died in a tragic accident, like there'll be another athlete that will, make their well-known name, and they will try to beat that record, right? And their scoring ratification has gone higher and higher and higher, right? And that's the crazy part, is that most of the time when you beat your record, you need pacers with you, right? That's what helped Eliud Kipchoge the most, that sub 2 hour, right? Jacob Kiplimo, he ran his entire half marathon almost by himself, right? Let me talk about split. Like he's running like every 5K in just around like 13 minutes, under like sub 13 minutes and 30 seconds, right? Yeah, so I think like his first split was like 3:23 5K, and then like 3:12, and then 3:12 again. I'm like, one of Jacob Kiplimo's like 5K 10K split is almost a world record, a 10K world record, on the track, right? He would have almost beat Joshua Cheptegei, but despite that, he has to run like more than twice the distance. Like he's like less than like 20 to 30 seconds slower than Joshua Cheptegei in the 10K, right? I think Jacob Kiplimo can actually break a 26-minute, like 10K world record, right? He can actually do it, right? I think the record that look forward to, everybody's look forward, is to definitely break a 2-hour marathon, right? And let's say Pacific record, right? And also Jacob Kiplimo, in his half marathon, debut, world record debut, his 15-kilometer split was almost under 40 minutes, right? I think from Total Run Production, he said that, you know, Jacob Caplino ran his 15K in under 40 minutes, a time of 39 minutes and 47 seconds. But I look at a calculator and I see that, you know, like that's not true, because his average pace is sub 420, right? That means he probably ran the like next 5K or something like that in like under, you know, in just over, you know, 430 minutes per mile pace. But Jacob Caplino did not slow down. The way I look at him run the last couple miles, it does not look like he's slowing down. That means that cannot be a 430 mile pace, right? And it was, you know, corrected again at like 40 minutes and 07. But still, you know, like if Jacob Caplino ran like all out for the 15 kilometer, he would have break 40 minutes for sure, right? He would have, right? But the 50 kilometers is not that popular. People only run 5K, 10K, and then half marathon. Those are the most, you know, popular event. They don't go like Pacific, like 10-mile run or like 20-mile run, right? Jacob Caplino can definitely run 10 miles in like 43 minutes, right? He has to run 10 miles in at least, you know, 43 minutes or faster, right? Because a 420 minutes, sub 420 minute mile pace. So yeah, that's definitely like a 43 minutes, you know, 10-mile run, right? 43 minutes, right? I feel like people should run a lot faster, because world record gets breaking like almost every single year. That means that people should be, that when people were strong in the past, like people should be able to run like their half marathon or marathon, you know, a lot more faster than you think, right? So yeah, I say that males and females, you know, don't matter what it is, they should run significantly, you know, faster, right? Yeah, I don't know, maybe they should like 5 or 10%, you know, faster than the current world record, right? I feel like without these nutrition, without these technology, then human would not have been like this fast, right? Jacob Caplino and everyone else will have no chance of, you know, running this fast today, right? There's just no chance. It's because of, you know, the way, you know, like, you know, things been going on, right? The way, you know, like human, you know, get smarter, right? So in a way, you know, technology has, you know, has been playing a big role, right? And, you know, the confidence and, you know, the motivation, right? Yeah, you know, I don't know what world record thing. And also the world record that I'm looking forward for people's breaking is the 13 minute, no, not 13, the 12:30, right? I mean, yeah, you're gonna have to run like 12 and a half lap in under 60 seconds. That's the one I've been looking for, right? Joshua Cheptegei also holds the 5K world record of like 12 minutes and 35 seconds, right? I know freaking, you know, on the last day of 2024, like the woman just broke the 14-hour barrier. Not 14, like 14 minutes, you know, for the 5K run, right? That's why I said that the road race should be faster than, you know, the track, right? Because you literally just go straight, right? I don't know why people don't count that world record as ratified, right? People just have to make weird rules and weird limitation, right? Why can't just human just, you know, put resource, you know, and make a track go straight? That way, you know, people don't have to turn all the time, you know, just to beat the world record, right? But it is what it is, you know. Yeah, it just imagine, you know, like if they build this, you know, track, you know, like straight for mile, yeah, it does take up a lot of room, and it's just probably, you know, more work or more maintenance, or I don't know what it is, you know. I just want everybody, you know, to reach their full potential, you know, and not, you know, put them at a disadvantage, right? I feel like people just feel like they keep having, you know, disadvantage that just, you know, prevent them, you know, from hitting their, you know, full potential, right? So yeah, this is what's been going on track and field. So now, you know, people make episode like, how long can people hold a sub 4 minute mile pace, right? I know they could definitely go 1 mile, you know, pretty easy, you know, if you're like a top runner, right? Jakob Ingebrigtsen can easily run a sub 4 minute miles, you know, in his jog, right? But can he? I know that people can do 2 miles, you know. Jakob Ingebrigtsen break a 7:54. I think Jakob Ingebrigtsen is going to break a 7:50. I will not be surprised if Jakob Ingebrigtsen breaks a 7:50 for the 2 miles record. That's like 3:55 then, you know. And then, you know, people are looking forward, you know, to break a sub 4-minute mile pace for like a 5K, you know, kilometer distance, right? So that's gonna be like massive amounts of training and massive amounts of, you know, high aerobic endurance, right? So yeah, that's like 3.10 miles, you know, 3/10 of a mile, you know, running. That means they're gonna have to run like around like 12:25 to 12:30, right? Which I cannot wait, right? Because Grant Fisher, imagine if Grant Fisher didn't run indoor, right? Why do they have to make it indoor, you know, 200 meters? This is ridiculous, man. Why they have to create this type of sport, you know? Why can't they just make everything the same, you know, and just not be so difficult, right? Why does track and field has to be like, why do you have to make rules, you know, that are difficult? This is why, you know, sport can be unwatchable sometimes. Well, that's just my opinion, right? That's just my opinion. If people don't like my opinion, they can like dislike the video, you know, right? Sorry it's a long video, but there's just lots of things out there, you know, that people are not seeing, right? And I have to show this to you on YouTube, right? Hey, don't tell me that I know nothing about running. I run, you know, I ran a sub 5-minute mile pace before, so I know what it's like, you know, how hard it's to accomplish it, right? I know I did not run sub 5-minute mile on the goddamn track, but I did it on the road, right? You know how I ran a sub 5-minute mile? I just ran straight for half mile, then I turned back, right? I ran it on the trail, right? I did not run it on the track, right? Just minimize the curve, you know? Because if you run a curve, then you lose your momentum and you have to slow down a little bit, you know, to order to make a curve, right? That is just a problem by seeing right there, right? Just imagine if Grant Fisher and everyone else, you know, don't have to run on the curvy track. Just imagine what will happen, right? They will definitely get faster, right? But not tremendously faster. I can see that Grant Fisher, he might be able to break. He might upset, you know, like Yard the Goose, Jakobsbriggen. And also I've been following, you know, Cole Hawker too. Cole Hawker's another good runner, right? Yeah, like there are so many, you know, super athletes, you know. I see that why people run their marathon, you know, so much quicker than they did, you know, running on track, because it's mostly straight and uphill and all something like that. It's just mostly like going straight, you're right? Even though there's some little curvy stuff, right? Although there's some uphills and downhills, right? So yeah, like I feel like, you know, you just need like a lot of mental toughness in yourself if you really want, you know, to beat your record, you know, in running, right? Your running is extremely mental, and you're being strongly aerobic fit and being strongly motivated can, you know, get you just, you know, so far, you know, into running, right? So yeah, I don't know what world record is gonna break in, but you know, it feels like, you know, mostly the longer distances are getting, you know, broken, right? Yeah, because, you know, people just have, you know, because I get like, you know, short distance, you know, I think people already, you know, max out on the short distance, like, you know, the 100 meters and, you know, the 200 meters, right? And then, you know, like anything longer than the 5, let's say even 2 miles, you know, is not a middle distance. It's like long distance runner now, right? So yeah, I don't know what else to say, you know, but human potentially, you know, yeah, and also, you know, women, you know, now get faster, you know. I see that the women run their fastest mile time in like 4 minutes and 7 seconds. So I say a matter of like another like 10-20 years from now, you know, maybe we will see the first woman that ever break a 4-minute mile, right? Everybody can't wait to see that also. So yeah, I say that sub 2 hour marathon is definitely going to happen way before, you know, some woman you'll break a 4-minute mile. But no woman has ever broken a 4:10 mile, but now they did, you know, and they're looking, you know, to break a 4:05, you know, for the next goal. And then, you know, eventually, you know, down, shaking seconds by seconds, and then, you know, eventually it will go down to like 4 flat, and then eventually, you know, go down to like 3:59, right? I think in the nearby future, you know, we will see even 14 years old now sub like a 4-minute mile out of like fucking nowhere, right? It's just 25 is just really ridiculous, right? I mean, for your Q&A before I end up the video, the fastest mile time was recorded was a 3:24, and it was by Craig Wheeler, you know, right? He was running like all downhill, right? I remember that, you know, like back in 2016, you know, I was like over 180 pounds, you know, and only can run a mile just under 6 minutes, and I was able to get down to like all the way to like 5:02. So yeah, you know, like it's very, like running downhill, you can easily, you know, gain like a lot of speed, right? But Craig Wheeler actually never set a 4-minute mile, and he ran a 3:24. So yeah, if you run like a super steep downhill, then your mile time is gonna be like really fast, right? So that's what I'm saying, right? A super, you know, downhill. But yeah, you know, mile cannot be ratified unless you run a track, because it's 100% even, right? If you run road, then it still doesn't count, because you know the elevation, you know, and some other rule that break. It's just like you need to finish at exactly at an elevation, right? You cannot finish like the elevation that you finish the mile has to be the same level as you start, right? So that's what I'm saying right now. So yeah, you know, it's just crazy out there, man. It's pretty crazy. 2025 is gonna be a really crazy year, right? Just like, you know, what happened in, you know, in 2020, right? 2025 is looking more crazier than 2020 already, you know, as a matter of fact, right? So I'm gonna have to end the video here, and thank you for watching.